Welcome back, everybody, to the Philadelphia Eagles franchise here on Madden 22. Today we kick off season number 5 as we head down to Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada to face off against the Raiders, featuring rookie quarterback Drake Nelson, who was selected with the number 2 overall pick out of the University of Alabama. It's a new era of football for both of these teams. Before we kick off today's episode, I have a mini off-season recap and preseason overview. If you want to skip right to the regular season game against the Raiders, I'll put a timestamp on the screen so you can go over there. In the offseason, we started off with retirements. We lost some guys like Foles, Cox, Zach Ertz. In the contract extension stage, we gave big money to Devontae Smith, re-signed some other players such as Cleveland Ferrell and Jason Kelsey. In free agency, we went big, acquiring Aaron Donald and J.J. Watt, two of the best players of our generation, along with other depth pieces here and there. We also traded for offensive guard Cesar Ruiz from the New Orleans Saints. Last episode was the NFL draft, and it was a very exciting draft featuring a lot of big moves. The Seahawks moved up from number 3 to number 1 to select Bryson Barraclough. We saw a couple of quarterbacks go off the board pretty early. The Eagles entered the draft with the 30th overall pick, but used that in a trade, which we'll talk about more in just a second. Our draft featured a couple of rookie starters in Zaire Savage and Machado Yamaguchi, along with some other young, talented depth pieces. But our biggest move of the offseason was trading pick 30, a future second, and Xander Vanderwall to the Colts for Malachi Madison and a second-round pick. I went into detail throughout the draft video why I made the move to go out and get Malachi Madison, but long story short, we feel the ceiling with him in our offense is a lot higher than that with Xander Vanderwall. So that's why we went out and made the move to get Malachi Madison to be our quarterback. I also made some undrafted free agent signings off camera, so that brings us to where we are now, today's episode for the preseason. Usually in the preseason, I don't like to start my starters minus rookies. I do want Malachi Madison to play just a little bit, just so he can, get the hang of things in an Eagles jersey pretty much. Other than that, the only starters in for us are pretty much for rookies and or players competing for a starting job, such as left guard between Marcus Crum and Fletcher Luce. So I simulcasted the 3 preseason games against New England, Kansas City, and the Chargers. We ended up going 0-3. We lost by 3 to New England, we got pummeled by the Chiefs, and we lost by 8 against the Chargers. I guess that's what happens when we really only played backups throughout the preseason. Malachi Madison only played, I think, the first quarter of game 1. Other than that, it was all of the backups. There weren't any super notable players. I guess Dozier Baxby was pretty solid. He was our starting tight end last year. Teddy Forbes, our 7th rounder out of Florida State, had a pretty good preseason. Aaron Donald somehow had 1.5 sacks, even though I set him up to not even play. And Zebediah Phoenix missed 3 field goals. I don't know why Phoenix always struggles in the preseason. So now we get to the least fun part of the season, and that is having to cut players. We need to cut 22 players, and we have 12 open practice squad slots in order to set up our 53-man roster. And there were some tough decisions here. There weren't any, shocking cuts. I guess cutting both of our 7th rounders is a little bit surprising, but even so, I put both of them on the practice squad, so they're still in our organization. And other than that, there weren't really any big names, any possible starters who ended up getting released. It was pretty much just the normal backups. I don't think we had any undrafted free agents make the final roster, maybe 1 or 2, but not many. And then for the most part, it's just younger guys who aren't as good, either going on the practice squad or just being released altogether. So we're winding down here, just a few more to go. Really had some tough decisions here in the secondary. I cut Deontay Bramble, who was one of our draft picks a couple years ago in the 7th round. And that'll pretty much do it. Only 2 more to go. Anthony's going to go to the practice squad. And then my last cut, I really wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I ended up putting Reggie King on the practice squad. So that brings us to week 1 here against the Raiders. This is what I have set up as our week 1 depth chart. So obviously a lot of it is subject to change, pending with injuries, seeing who plays well, who doesn't. But this is what it looks like. This is how everybody will be getting their playing time. We're going to have rotations in and out at defensive line, linebacker, obviously running back as well. But overall, no real surprises throughout the preseason, and we don't have any injuries to start the year, which is a good sign. For our goal, make the Super Bowl. Pretty simple. We were so close last year. I think we're quite a bit better than we were a year ago. So it's Super Bowl or bust, really, as we kick off the new season What is the focus here against the Raiders? I actually want to put focus on the offensive side of the ball. Our defense, for the most part, is pretty much the same as last year, other than adding upgrades with Aaron Donald, J.J. Watt, and Zaire Savage to the defensive line. And then on offense in particular, you guys know my style. Ground and pound, run the damn ball. We're going to be a little bit more passing-oriented with the addition of Malachi Madison, but we're still a run-first team through and through. So let's look at the Raiders, led by the number 2 overall pick, Drake Nelson out of Alabama, who they drafted in the first round. They used a first-rounder on a quarterback last year in Callum Jupiter. It didn't really work out. Kind of similar to like a Josh Rosen, Kyler Murray situation. The Raiders roster as a whole isn't all that spectacular. That's why they got the number 2 pick last year. But there are some fun young players who I'm excited to see in action today. Their best player is Josh Jacobs. He's really, really good, so I want to focus on stopping the run. And then on offense, you guys know how I roll. Run the damn ball. So let's hop into the ball game here. Week 1 at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada. This is the second time we've ever played here in Las Vegas. The first time all the way back in Season 1. I don't know if you guys remember that game. But Dallas Goedert caught a game-winning touchdown as time expired. It was one of the most fun games of the series all the way back when Jalen Hurts was our starting quarterback. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get Season 5 underway. Hopefully, the start of our Super Bowl season as the Eagles face off against the Las Vegas Raiders to kick off the 2025 NFL season. The Eagles are going to open up with the ball as it's kicked off by the undrafted rookie punter Tate Sullivan out of Westlake as it's received and kneeled down in the end zone by Mekhi Diggins. He's going to get a lot of playing time this year as our nickel corner. So here's Malachi Madison wearing number 8. He's going to be our new signal caller going forward. He's on the final year of his contract, so assuming he has a good season, we're probably going to give him the bag. Madison, the former number 1 overall draft pick out of Texas. It just never really worked out in Indianapolis, and he gets a new opportunity here in Philadelphia. 2nd and 7. He connects with the tight end, Machado Yamaguchi, with blocks down the field. Wrapped up inside the 20 by Jay Gold Jr. A gain of 55 for the second-round pick, Machado Yamaguchi. Pretty good first throw for Madison, who was under a ton of pressure, but launches a dime for Yamaguchi. I'm really excited to see what this rookie tight end can do, and obviously I'm very excited to see some more Malachi Madison throws. Scrambling to the left side, looking to throw it here, and it is going to be caught at the 1 by Tykeem Keon. Tykeem Keon played with Malachi Madison at the University of Texas. They were teammates for multiple seasons. They had formed a great connection, and it looks like their connection has resumed right back here in the NFL as Keon is in the end zone for a touchdown, and the Philadelphia Eagles strike first within not even 80 seconds of offense, and Philadelphia is already on the board, 7-0. So here's Drake Nelson, the number 2 overall draft pick, leading out the Las Vegas Raiders offense. I'm very excited to see what Nelson can do. He's a very inconsistent but super talented quarterback who I think has a shot to be great in the NFL as Josh Jacobs on the first play from scrimmage loses 2. Nice tackle there by Winston Johnson, who's going to have a bigger role on the defense with Bobby Wagner gone. Winston Johnson is one of the many key players on this team who is due for a contract extension at the end of the year. 2nd and 12. Drake Nelson looking to scramble with it under pressure, and he is sacked. Jabari Achabe brains down the quarterback, and unfortunately Fred Campbell, the rookie offensive guard, is injured. Remember, we almost drafted Fred Campbell. We heavily considered picking him of our first rounder. Obviously, we ended up trading that pick away. Luckily, it doesn't look like a serious injury for Campbell because I was excited to see what he could do. Raiders would have to punt after the Jabari Achabe sack as Philadelphia has the ball back. There's Tazwell Hubbard, the third-year pro, to the outside. Hubbard has been fantastic in his first 2 years in the NFL. He might get slightly less touches this year with an upgraded quarterback, but Tazwell Hubbard's still going to be great for us this season as that pass is caught by JT DeMarco, who breaks the tackle. Nice move by DeMarco, the second-year wideout out of the Ohio State University, who gets it to the 23-yard line. I know it's early, but the Eagles look really, really good on both sides of the ball. Malachi Madison looks like he's played on this team for the last decade. Hubbard to the outside with a nice run of about 19 yards. He brings it to the 4. Good play for Tazwell Hubbard, and the Eagles are close to the end zone as they look to extend the lead. 1st and goal from the 4. Madison drops back to throw it. It's a short pass hauled in by Machado Yamaguchi. His first career receiving touchdown, showing off the Fortnite dances And the Philadelphia Eagles extend their lead. Malachi Madison with 2 touchdown passes here in just the first half of the first quarter. So now it's 14-0. The Raiders are hoping things will get better for them as Drake Nelson throws it deep downfield. It's intercepted by Edmund Orient. That's Orient's first career interception. We do have a flag, but I think this play is going to stand. Drake Nelson threw the ball past the line of scrimmage, so this penalty is going to be declined. It will be an interception for Edmund Orient. Drake Nelson had an open rushing lane, but decided to throw it. You can tell he's a rookie quarterback. He's making some early mistakes as he's already been intercepted here in the first quarter. Good to see Edmund Orient make a play. He did not record an interception last year as a rookie. Nice spin move by Tazwell Hubbard, getting the Eagles well out of safety range as he gets 21 yards. Hubbard has been a man amongst boys up to this point, dominating for the Eagles offense, although it feels like everybody for Philadelphia is dominating here in the first quarter. Madison scrambling with it. He connects with his former college teammate and now pro teammate, Tykeem Keon. Just like Malachi Madison, Tykeem Keon is also on the final year of his deal this season. I'm pretty curious to see how much both of them get paid. Hint, it'll probably be a lot. 3rd and 1, handoff for Rosemont St. Clair, and it looks like he is short. Nice tackle there by Las Vegas to get the stop. It's Maver who brings him down. So 4th and inches, the Eagles are going to go for it, and it's going to be a pass. Malachi Madison looking to throw it. He could run for the first down, but he takes a shot for the end zone, and it's picked off by Trayvon Mullen. I think that play might have been a good thing for the Eagles because it felt like Philadelphia was playing with fire. Why would you throw the ball in the end zone on 4th and inches, especially with a wide-open rushing lane? I think the Eagles needed some humble pie because it felt like they were invincible. So now they're going to wake up and realize maybe we're not invincible. Philadelphia's defense gets the stop off the turnover. Nice pressure by Jabari Achabe. You know, when Jabari Achabe isn't hurt, he's really, really damn good. The problem is he was hurt pretty much all of last year. But I feel like people forget how good he is when he's on the field. Madison connects with Devontae Smith, the $80 million man. Smith got a big payday, well-deserved, in the bank account this offseason as he brings it to the 31. That'll wrap up the first quarter. The Eagles as a team have 265 total offensive yards. The Raiders as a team have 0 total offensive yards. That should pretty much tell you how the game is going. Very one-sided. As Tazwell Hubbard, to start the second, will walk down the red carpet, untouched into the end zone for a touchdown. And the Philadelphia Eagles extend their lead. It's now 21-0. The offense looks unstoppable. Malachi Madison's launching darts. Tazwell Hubbard is looking like Derrick Henry. And the Raiders have not been able to do anything, and it's not going to get any better. Isaiah Simmons sacks the quarterback for a loss of 14. I get the Raiders are not the best team. Again, there's a reason why they got the number 2 overall pick. But I was not expecting the Eagles to be up by this much. 3rd and 20. Nelson under a ton of pressure. He gets rid of it, and it is incomplete. I think part of the reason why Callum Jupiter, last year's first-round quarterback for the Raiders, struggled is that he had no offensive line and no receivers. And so far, that has been the issue for Drake Nelson. Is on 3rd and 10. Madison's pass for DeMarco is incomplete. So instead of punting it, the Eagles are going to go for a field goal. 63-yard attempt here for Zebediah Phoenix, and he drills it like it's nothing. I feel like Zebediah Phoenix has to hold the most 60-yard kicks in NFL history. Remember last year he had the 67-yarder against the Cleveland Browns, which of course is an NFL record. He did miss the game-winning field goal later in that game, but that's neither here nor there. So Phoenix's kick makes it 24-0 as the Eagles extend the lead. Raiders with it back, looking for their first point of the day, is on 2nd and 10. Drake Nelson goes up the middle. It's hauled in by Jazeal Collins, who is popped by C.J. Thomas. Nice first down for Collins, originally drafted by the San Francisco 49ers back in the year 1 draft, was traded to the Raiders, I'm pretty sure, in the Hunter Renfrow deal. First down now from the 26, about halfway through the quarter. It's a handoff for Ardarian Stevenson, and he loses 2, wrapped up by Mekhi Diggins, the nickel corner. No Josh Jacobs in the game. He broke his ribs back in the first quarter. So you thought this game couldn't get any worse for the Raiders. Their best player's out with a multi-week injury now as Ardarian Stevenson does not get the first down. He's wrapped up by Winston Johnson. 4th and inches. The Raiders are going to go for the points. I felt like they should have gone for it because they're down by 24. They have nothing to lose, but instead they're just going to kick the field goal. I can't totally blame them because now they're not going to get shut out at least, and it's 24-3. So I guess the game looks a little bit more respectable. About 3 minutes left here in the first half. 2nd and 4. Play action fake. Malachi Madison has a wide open man. It's Tykeem Keon who who brings it to the 45. That was close. I'm not sure if Keon got it in bounds, and the Raiders are going to challenge the call. As we look at the replay, it's kind of hard to tell if the left foot sort of drags itself out of bounds before the right foot is down. Since it's too close to call, the original call on the field will stand. The Raiders lose their timeout. Now at the 2-minute warning, actually a little bit past the 2-minute warning at this point. 3rd and 10. Madison under a lot of pressure. Heaves up a prayer for the end zone. It's caught by Devontae Smith for the touchdown. Let me tell you this. Xander Vanderwall would not have made that play. Malachi Madison is so good under pressure, and he has made a couple of wow throws today. None more impressive than that one. As much as I think Xander Vanderwall is a good quarterback, he is horrible under pressure, to put it nicely. Malachi Madison is great under pressure. That one looked like it was easy, and it's now 31-3. Absolute domination here in the first half by the Philadelphia Eagles. The Raiders looking to get things back on track, only down by 28 points, as Drake Nelson's pass is going to be hauled in by the tight end Foster Moreau, who is lit up by Mekhi Diggins. Drake Nelson was under a ton of pressure there. His offensive line has been miserable today. The Raiders have one of the worst offensive lines in the league, and it has shown in this game. Nelson again running for his life. Another forward pass. He could have had a really good run there if not for him throwing past the line of scrimmage. Again, rookie mistake there from Drake Nelson, and it's a 3rd and 16 now for Las Vegas at the 46. Nelson looking to throw it, as you can guess, under even more pressure, and he is sacked by the former Raider, Cleveland Ferrell, as Philadelphia calls a timeout, and the struggles for the Las Vegas offense continue. It's not even Drake Nelson's fault. His receivers have been bad. His offensive line's been dreadful. The Eagles looking to keep things going. Malachi Madison with a nice run, and that's going to be an additional 15 yards as the Raiders are going to be called for a late hit. As good as the Eagles have played today, part of this blowout is that the Raiders are just horrible with some of these just stupid penalties. Jonathan Abram is the one called for the flag. 3rd and 10, final seconds of the half. Deep shot caught by St. Clair, who runs out of bounds with just a split second to go. Very high IQ play by Rosemont St. Clair to get out of bounds as quickly as possible, so that way the Eagles can bring out the field goal team. 30-yard attempt for Zebediah Phoenix. He splits the uprights. That'll wrap up the first half. This is about as one-sided as you can get. 34-3. Philadelphia leads the Las Vegas Raiders. Philadelphia has been dominant, and the Raiders have been horrible. I don't think the Eagles are going to be consistently this good because, A, they're playing pretty much a perfect game, and B, the Raiders look like a CFL team. I mean, they have been just flat-out dreadful. Since we're going to be chewing clock in the second half, we're mainly going to be focused on running the ball. And as for the Raiders, we don't have to worry about Josh Jacobs anymore because he is hurt. So we're really focused on stopping the pass because I don't think the Raiders are going to run the ball a whole lot here in the second half. Las Vegas opens up with possession, 3rd and 7. Drake Nelson will connect with Jaziel Collins, who brings it to the 22-yard line, wrapped up by the first-time Pro Bowler, Joko Onwosu. 3rd and 10 now at the 22. The Raiders have had the ball for a good 5 minutes here in the third quarter as Drake Nelson's under a lot of pressure from Aaron Donald, and the throw is incomplete. So that'll bring out the field goal team here once again as the Raiders still cannot find the end zone, looking to make it a 28-point deficit, using up around half the clock in the third quarter. The Raiders at least scored, but they didn't really make much of a dent in the scoreboard, so it's now 34-6. I imagine we're going to start to see the backups trickling in for Philadelphia soon. Assuming the Eagles score here, this might be the last drive you see the starters. Another nice run for Tazwell Hubbard. He's already over 100 yards on just 12 carries today. First down from the 38. Malachi Madison drops back to throw it, scrambling to the right side, and he is sacked for a major loss. Charles Shear-Iliad with the sack, forcing a loss of 17. Really the one con I've seen with Malachi Madison today is he's been a little bit over-aggressive. And, I mean, it was shown on that play. He trusted his legs a little bit too much. It's not going to matter because on the very next play, Dozier Baxby is going to get a 30-plus yard gain because the Raiders just chose not to cover him. So the sack proves to really not matter. 2nd and 3 now at the 17. Malachi Madison scrambles to the left side. He has an open man. It's Tykeem Keon who grabs his second touchdown of the game. If you drafted Tykeem Keon, he's going to be really good for your fantasy team this year. I imagine you had to pick him up pretty early after the season he had last year and the season he's going to dominate this year with his former college quarterback. 41-6, the Eagles have put in pretty much all of the backups. There are a couple starters still sprinkled in the game, including C.J. Thomas, who picks off the pass. I definitely substituted C.J. Thomas out of the game because there were some young corners I wanted to see, but I guess C.J. Thomas was still in, and he gets the interception. Likely the first of many interceptions for Thomas, who is also an impending free agent in the offseason. 1st and 10 for the offense. Here's Rosemont St. Clair with a nice run. We're going to try to give St. Clair some more work here in the fourth quarter. We're also going to see a lot of Benny Snell as well, who was signed in free agency from the Steelers. That'll wrap up the third quarter. Much of the same here. The Eagles continuing to dominate as they leave this game 41-6. Maddox Gillard, the fourth-year pro out of Boston College, is in at quarterback as his pass is incomplete. In your face, says the defender. It's not like his team is down by 35. So the Raiders will get the ball back. Drake Nelson still hanging in there as he fakes the handoff for Stevenson. Nelson scrambling with it, can't find anybody, and he will eventually be sacked by Hannibal Savage, the second-year pro from New Mexico. We've got a couple of Savages on our defensive line. Hannibal Savage, along with our rookie defensive tackle, Zaire Savage, our top draft pick out of the University of Cincinnati, who we picked in the early second round. 2nd and 22, Nelson will connect with Jazeal Collins, who gets by the defender. What a move by Jazeal Collins, who has actually been quite good today. He's really the only player on this Raiders team who I would say has impressed me as he's nearing the century mark in yardage. 3rd and 13 now for Las Vegas. About 8 minutes left to go in the ballgame. Drake Nelson has an open man deep. It's Ardarian Stevenson down the field for the 49-yard touchdown as Stevenson burned the linebacker Adrian Tybalt. The first career passing touchdown likely of many for quarterback Drake Nelson. Put your rally caps on, kids. The Raiders are within 28 points. So now the Eagles are pretty much just chewing clock through and through. 3rd and 16, Maddox Gillard drops back to throw it, and he launches a dime into the hands of Troy Dobbs, who brings it to the 32-yard line. We got to see a little bit of Gillard. Now we're going to see some Donovan Krause action. He was picked in the 6th round a couple of years ago out of Georgia Tech. Kind of want to see what he can do as Rosemont St. Clair gets another first down to the 15-yard line. Following play, Philadelphia continuing to chew some clock as Krause scrambles to the left side. Krause with room has a first down and dives into the end zone. Touchdown, Donovan Krause. Donovan Krause has some elite athleticism and explosiveness. He just doesn't have the elite arm talent you look for in a starting quarterback. That's pretty much how the game would end. A dominant victory here for the Philadelphia Eagles in Week 1 as they smother the Las Vegas Raiders 48-13. This game looked like a blowout really from the second both teams stepped onto the field, and we really did not put the pedal off the metal until the end of the game. So really good win here. Again, the Raiders are not the best of teams, but you take any win you can get in the National Football League as our offense had nearly 600 total yards. I don't think Drake Nelson was that bad. I know his numbers are kind of unimpressive, but I thought he had some good throws. His offensive line was horrible. His receivers were pretty bad. I am a little bit worried for Drake Nelson because this is not a good situation for a rookie quarterback, and I hope he does well. As for us, Malachi Madison was an absolute beast. I cannot wait to use him more. And Maddox Gillard and Donovan Krause both look pretty good. We ran the ball quite well. They did not, largely because Josh Jacobs got injured very early in the game. He broke his ribs. He's going to be out for a while. So really the one thing that this offense could lean on, Josh Jacobs, he's now injured. In the receiving game, Devontae Smith, Machado Yamaguchi, and Tykeem Keon all stood out. Really like what I saw from Yamaguchi here in his debut. The Raiders' offensive line was a train wreck. Our offensive line was quite good. Sacks for Hannibal Savage, Cleveland Ferrell, Isaiah Simmons, and Jabari Achabe, and we have the interceptions by C.J. Thomas, the 19th of his career, and Edmund Orient, the first of his career, along with a couple of field goals, including a 63-yarder by Zebediah Phoenix. So it was a complete team win. The pass game was great. The run game was great. The pass defense was great. The pass rush was great. The run defense was great. The special teams was great. That's about as perfect of a game as you're going to get. I don't think we're going to play that well the rest of the year. You just can't expect it with a lot of better teams on the schedule. And we've got a lot of primetime games as we do have one new injury. Our third-string tight end, Delshawn Callaway-Riley, is going to be out 4 weeks. So we have a Week 8 bye week. Between now and Week 8, 5 of our 6 games are on primetime, including 2 in the next episode against the Green Bay Packers and the Washington football team. We are the only team in our division who won here in Week 1. If anyone's curious about how Xander Vanderwall did, the Colts ended up losing to the Chiefs, but Vanderwall was pretty good. He completed about 2/3 of his passes through 3 touchdowns and 1 interception. So he was good. Not as good as Malachi Madison, but still pretty good. So that's going to wrap up the episode. I hope everybody enjoyed. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you are new. Peace out.